how thankful are all of us for the number of people who have latched on to the vision of Regenerate and Grace Church. But let's get real for a second. None of this is possible without generosity, right? So we couldn't be the caregivers that we want to be and that we are without people's generosity. We couldn't be developing leaders as comprehensively as we are without people's generosity. And we certainly couldn't multiply. So, beyond the obvious reasons and implications, why is it important that we as a church become great givers?
It goes back to what we said earlier. We become too selfish, and without seeing it, we absorb and consume so much that we can't even imagine a different way of living. And so it changes me when I alter my lifestyle when it comes to my financial resources. What I buy or don't buy, how much I give, and it's a surrender. It's a huge surrender piece every paycheck, So it's God, I won't choose to buy that, whatever that is, because I will be generous with what you've given me, so that we can expand your kingdom. And to really get it without it, my soul withers. And sometimes how often do I not even see? So as a individual, it's critical for my spiritual development. And as a community, absolutely essential, because we wouldn't be sitting at the table, personally been impacted, and seeing the stories we're already seeing as we begin to multiply now.
I think it does start with surrendering our lives to Jesus, but I think it's also a discipleship issue, because there's something unique happening, I think, in the suburbs and suburban context, where it's just too easy for us to get caught up in the consumerism, the materialism, and for us to really truly ask the question, is this mine or is this God's, is a place we have to get to. And it's hard. I mean, I still struggle with that myself, but we have to get there.
Yeah, generosity is the antidote to consumerism, but it is a hard pill to swallow, because where we live is so, that is so countercultural, not just to have unlimited choices to do kind of whatever I choose that I want to do. And we're just used to swimming in that, and going against that to release resources to something beyond my own pleasure, entertainment, satisfaction.
I get nothing. You feel like, I'm not getting anything back.
Right, and that's
like I only want to spend money on something that I get.
That's the false belief.
Right, exactly,
right.
exactly.
But you don't know that until you practice it.
Right.
And again, like you said, Keith, I'm very much on that journey as well. And frankly, this has been one of the hardest financially years we've ever had. We've gotten hit with just like you, new sump pump, new heating, new furnace, new water heater, and all in the same year that we started to give more.
Yes, I know.
Yep. And
we have a child going to college in the fall,
and
we're like, okay, let's up our giving, because we've got
root canal.
Exactly. Totally.
1 month.
Don't even get them started.
I know. But the cool thing has been becoming more aware of our spending as a family, and what we're spending money on, and really having to make choices. And I always feel like when we're in that zone where things aren't just automatic or easy, that of course those are the times we're going to learn a lot more. Those are the times we're going to feel. In a sense, I feel more connected to God, because I am more dependent. I'm trying to figure out, okay, God, $3,000 for braces. Okay, what are we doing here? And we really need your help and your wisdom, and we've had to ask for help from family members and stuff, which has been a really humbling thing to do. And we're still, oh my goodness, we still are way.
So are we.
It's ridiculous sometimes when you think about how well we still live. So, but if we were, I think being on that journey together as a church, and being open, because we're so closed about this. We're so afraid to ask questions or be asked about our finances, and we're not open. If we could become more like that, I think if we shared more stories about what God's doing in us and around us because we're on this journey of generosity, it could really transform us. But I don't think that's going to start until we have more frank and vulnerable conversations about it.
It's always the last piece of the puzzle, I feel like, for people. Like, they're willing to give everything up until that. And then they're like, I don't know if I can part with that because I really want a new van. But, which I'm telling you, I think I'm going to drive my blue jalopy until it falls apart. I mean, I want a new van so bad, and I don't even like cars. But I just want something, I see the slick with the, and ours is fine, like it's awesome. But I just know that's not going to happen, and I have to just let that dream die for the time being, and it's fine. But for us, it all came together, and this is so practical, and probably won't make the video because it's so practical, but I think the automatic debit was the greatest thing that was ever invented. And for my husband and myself, who it was really easy to not write the check that week as it went by. Number one, because we didn't have it prepared ahead of time, so it was like, ooh, it just passed us and we didn't get signed.
Yeah.
Guess we're not giving this week. Or we just were like, oh, braces, or we got a payment this week for this. The minute that we just turned it over and said, okay, it really is out of our control because we just signed it away and the bank is just gonna turn those funds over 2 times a month to Grace. It was the greatest gift that was ever given to us, and we literally don't think about it because it's just gone. It's gone every month, and we live without it every month. And I think for some people that have a really hard time being consistent, why wouldn't you just do it that way? Then you've done it. You've signed it away one time, and you don't have to. And so therefore we do have to have conversations with our kids about it because it's really important for them to understand that that's part of what we do. And as they've gotten, Liza has her own job and thinking through what that means for her. You do need to have those conversations so that they understand that it is happening. But I just think for people that like us that were so inconsistent, it just changed our whole giving.
Here's the good news. In the last 5 years, our giving has grown over 80%. In the last 5 years. That's amazing. Around 5 years ago, we were disturbed when we discovered that giving as a percentage of household income was only 1.7%. That was troubling because especially when the national average was roughly 2.5%. Well, here's the good news. In 5 years, our giving as a percentage of household income has doubled to 3.5%. Now, you can applaud, but I want you to know that a tithe is 10%. I am just saying. Then there's Regenerate. With Regenerate, we started here, and over 2 years, here's where Regenerate started. Here's the end of year 1. And we projected with the pledges that came in, through Regenerate, that we'd have received $33 million over 2 years. I want to show you where we are right now. For the first part, it looked good, and here's what giving has done since. Okay? So we're approaching year 2. We'll have to change that if we're going to reach that $33 million. Another way to look at Regenerate, we have 4,000 active households involved in some way at Grace. Many have given in small and large ways, but I want you to know that of the 4,000 active households, 1,400 have made pledges or intentions to Regenerate. That's 34%. And 2,600 households have yet to make a commitment. That's 66%.